Has scored for Nigeria. Goal that wins the first ever footballing gold medal for Nigeria.
To continue their impressive run to place Edo State in the continental map.
Toby Amazon, look at the clock. I cannot believe it. She's done it again. 2 world records in one night, and she makes history by becoming Nigeria's first world champion.
Alex Iwobi decides to go early. Chukwueze shapes the shoot, gets some space. It's Osimhen.
Yes, so we've been in class before we came on set. I must tell you, Raymond taking us through some French lessons, telling us how to truly pronounce certain words in French. And hopefully today on the show, he would be giving us plenty as far as that is concerned. My name is Matthew Okugbe saying welcome once more to another exciting episode of Sportsville. So much making the rounds in the world of sports, especially from the home front. We are beginning to say congratulations to the Nigerian weightlifting team. They were in Mauritius and they made Nigeria very, very proud. So much to truly look at that, and also several stories making the rounds in the ever exciting world of sports. The big man himself, Tony Barney, is in the studio. We have the ever delectable Puja here, as well as the man that says it just the way it should be said. You can call him the Frenchman on Sportsville. Raymond Akpagre is also here. We're going to breathe and when we return, we'll say proper. Stick around.
The adventure begins. One tap, multiple choices with BetKing Bet Builder. Every match becomes your playground. Select your prediction slot. Who will get a card? Which player will score? How many goals? And so on. Start your odds and build a bet like no other.
Now, the power to win bigger is in your hands with Bet Builder. Register and get 100 Naira instant bonus with JJC welcome offer.
That feeling, that's BetKing.
There's a champion in this child, in this one, just as much in this one. They all deserve to experience how values like grit, determination, and teamwork learned through sport will help them succeed in life. And Milo is committed to making this happen. Because every child deserves to experience the transformational power of sport.
Yes, always a delight to talk sports on the super amazing platform. I must tell you, the guys are in the studio. Sono Bani, it feels great to have you back.
Thank you so much, Matthew, and of course, thanks to our distinguished listeners out there. I'm pained, Matthew, because, you call her ever delectable Puja, she just came, not being herself. And
absolutely.
It's very painful, the way our law enforcement authorities, especially these police people, that just stop people and they stop money, from motorists. And of course, Puja was a victim of them, I think somewhere in Alakpere, somewhere there, I think that people should just call them to order. Nigeria is going through a phase.
Interested. And so Raymond, feels good to have you back.
Yeah, so nice to be here. When it is Sportsville, it's always a time to say the way it should be said. And that's why I feel bad when guys say Ballon d'Or. Ballon d'Or.
Yeah.
It's simple Ballon d'Or.
Absolutely.
Ballon d'Or, golden ball.
Yes.
I don't know why it's so difficult to pronounce, but that is how it is said. And you know, on Sportsville, it has to be the way it should be. That's why I'm just taking time to explain this. Have a nice time in Sportsville time.
And we hope that our mood will not stop her. What she went through in the hands of some very nefarious policemen won't hinder her from giving us the best of analysis. We have Joy Obayemi in the studio. You call her the ever delectable and the voice you definitely want to listen to. Joy, it feels great to have you here.
It feels good to be back on air, and yes, my mood a little bit, very not so pleasant. But one thing, it's each time I'm in the midst of my people here, I call them family now. I feel very happy. I feel protected. I feel very safe. So yeah, it's good to be back, and it's good to be in the studio and to talk sports. One of the things that makes me happy. So yeah.
Interesting. She just said it. When it comes to talking sports, there is no dull moment because it is an activities that keeps you on the go. Raymond, on that note, let's talk weightlifting. We saw our weightlifters at the All-African Senior Weightlifting Championship in Mauritius, and they were able to make Nigeria proud. They got plenty of support from the NSC, the National Sports Commission. Not to forget, the DG was also on ground to motivate the weightlifters, and this is just the way it should be.
Yeah, it was surely the turning point, coming from a terrible outing at the Olympic Games. We had really prayed, some bright face should be seen on our sports. And the weightlifters just did that in Mauritius. And, the presence of Lakpade, the DG, apparently brought out the best from these, athletes. The spirit was high, really came to the camp, promising them and telling them that he has the backing of Mr. President and even the chairman of the National Sports Commission to inspire them. And that was the tonic the weightlifters needed, and they did not disappoint. Do I say truckload of gold medals?
Yes.
And they're still promising more because the championship is also continuing.
Absolutely.
We keep saying that when Nigerians are motivated, when they are mobilized, there wouldn't be excuses. And for somebody who has credibility, somebody who knows that he has to deliver on behalf of the nation, I think that's exactly what Olakpade has done. I want to believe that this is beginning of better things to come for Nigerian sports. Kudos weightlifters, and I know that this gesture will go to other sportsmen and women.
Interesting. This is just the way it should be. It should be plenty of dollaring for the athletes. They need all the motivation they could get, and you must also give it to the National Sports Commission. This is one assignment they took very, very seriously, and I must tell you, they've made Nigeria very, very proud. We're saying congratulations to the entire team. Let's hope that they would consolidate on this as we begin to go out for qualifiers for the Olympics later in the year. We told you today we'll be looking at another very salient topic as far as Nigerian sports is concerned. Today we're talking about coaching development in Nigeria, Nigerian football coaching development, as well as CAF and UEFA's certification. In recent weeks, recent months, we've seen some very not too palatable stories concerning Nigerian coaches. Not to forget, Nigerian coaches are not one of the most sought after when it comes to the big jobs on the continent. Little wonder you would say we have a Malian coaching the Super Eagles at this time when we have top coaches who should have been saddled with that responsibility. Well, today on the show, we'll be looking at ways to develop coaches and support football coaches in Nigeria. Let's start with you, Tony Ubani. Nigerian coaches, they are always not giving the nod when it comes to some very key jobs on the continent. Even the clubs are no longer looking the direction of Nigerian coaches. How did we get there, and what should be the way forward?
Yeah, but I think the Nigerian Football Federation is even on its own, starting the battle, very, very late. And our coaches, we do have very salient coaches in Nigeria, but the only problem is that most of them are outdated. They have failed to update their knowledge on the techniques, of this game, because this game is ever changing. The dynamics of the game, what it was in 1980 when Nigeria won the Cup of Nations, it's not what it is. The football game has gone scientific, and only a coach, that is equally going scientific, trying as much as possible to update his knowledge that can always cope, with the dynamics of football. And that is the problem that we have witnessed, Matthew. If you remember, even our coaches, the indigenous coaches here, they do not have the necessary papers that CAF requires, for them to, be on the bench. And of course, we have seen a couple of times, the Nigerian coaches, were made not to be on the seat because they do not have that correct certification as demanded by CAF. And of course, that impacts on the results of the game. That, to me, is the first thing that demoralizes a team. When you know that the man, your commander-in-chief, is not behind you, that is also a very big minus. And Matthew, but beyond this certification, we have seen that the Nigerian coaches are very, very intelligent. But despite that intelligence, you must always have a certificate to back it up, because it is not about what you have achieved, that CAF will look at. You must always be up to date with that certification. That certification guarantees you everything that indeed this man is responsible for it. That's why, as it is now, that Richel coming from Mali has taken the prime job of the Super Eagles. I do not think that Richel is in any way better than most of our coaches. Augustin Egavoy has updated his knowledge. And of course, he's one of the best coaches that has all the necessary certificates in Nigeria. And what it means is that some other coaches should also try as much as possible, to update their knowledge. And indeed, the Nigerian Football Federation, the Nigerian Premier Football League should also ensure that they do this. As much as they are doing for the referees now, they should also extend that to the Nigerian coaches.
Very interesting. Pooja, let's look at it this way. You need a CAF A license to be able to gaffer a team in the CAF Champions League as well as the CAF Confederation Cup. But some Nigerian coaches, I've seen, I can't mention names at this time, but we've seen some of these coaches that prioritizes going to get, they do all they can, they strive to achieve a UEFA B license. And these are managers that predominantly works in Africa. And a UEFA B license do not supersede having a CAF A license, especially when you work on the African continent. That is why at this time you see managers who own a UEFA B license coaching a team. They went to the CAF Champions League and they are still unable to sit on the bench. So what should they truly prioritize at this time?
Matthew, to bring you back to that question, before I answer that question, really, last year I was in Egypt, and I had the opportunity to watch the Enyimba's game versus El Masry, and I was looking out for my coach. I was looking out for the Enyimba coach. Apparently, he was in the crowd, and I asked why, and I was told he was not, certified to be in the touchline, and that really got me angry. Like, what does it really take? Is this going to be on the coach to take on the responsibility to say, I want to develop myself? It's a profession you love. So I think it should be some, you should take some responsibility on yourself to say, you know what, let me go get myself some of these certifications. So I'm in a better position when it comes to selecting, when it comes to, opportunity. You already have it. It said opportunity, dance with those who are on the dance floor. So if you don't have the qualification, there's nothing any one of us can do. I just feel the coaches should prepare themselves very well. Well, for so for some of the reasons which are very obvious, you say financial and all of that, some of these courses are not done in our country.
And they don't come cheap.
It doesn't come cheap.
Absolutely.
So I think
you need as much as $5,000 to achieve some of these.
Exactly. So I think it comes with experience, comes with a lot of financial commitment.
Yes.
Some of our coaches, sorry to say, even their clubs that they are coaching back home cannot even pay them up to date to their salary for them to gather that money to go for these courses. So it's a lot. But I just feel if you want to be a professor, you have to, fund your way to become a professor. So if you want to become a very good coach that will be sought after, then you should look for a way to also develop yourself to that level.
Absolutely. Raymond, let's also look at it this way. The role of the FF in this, of the NFF. Because sometimes last month we saw that a coaching course was organized and they brought a few experts. Our own Terry Egwaji was also there, was part of those who taught the coaches, and they said that happens to be more like a CAF B coaching course. So what role should the NFF play, especially in influencing some of these courses?
There has to be a plan by the Nigerian Football Federation. You ask, why is this thing not holding in Nigeria? Why has there been a lull? It was holding some years ago.
Yes.
The time of the late Amodu Tribal, even the Ghanaian Salami and the rest of them, Adegbo and Nigbinde, we've had them. So why did it stop suddenly? It is the Nigerian Football Federation that should really make it work. There has to be a blueprint. There has to be a program to ensure that coaches get the relevant training from a CAF, from anybody.
Raymond, could this be a matter of trust?
It is incompetence on part of Nigeria.
Not having the belief that we could do. I said it's
about incompetence. You won't do this to proper football federations. I do not raise alarm.
You keep mute.
But NFF apparently they did not know what to do. They didn't even know, or they do not know that they have a role to play in coaches' development. Because when the coaches are developed, they will not be available for national use. But they left it for the coaches to do things their own way. And that's why the few coaches we see now that are relevant have their certificates outside this country. Perhaps it is now the NFF is waking up. They're just trying to do one through Guaji and the rest of them. But should it be so under normal circumstances? What's your blueprint? As you develop youth football, as you develop our other leagues and all, you develop your coaches. But sadly, NFF abandoned that, and just a few months ago, we're talking of one done, in Abuja or wherever. So it is the NFF that caused the problem. Then again, I've been seeing some of the pictures will be rolling since the program began. Some of our coaches are so timid; they don't want to up their game. They don't want to help themselves. When I see some of the faces, I laugh. Some of them who cannot even know that coaches have special relationship with the media. Some of the coaches now, if you call them to give a simple preview or review of their game, they will shy away from their responsibility. You think they will have the guts to tell the NFF to help them develop a coaching program? They will not. There are some of them who have been there calling themselves chairman of coaches in Nigerian football over the years, and nobody's asking them.
We saw the likes of Boso, chairman of the Coaches Association.
He's always there for the NFF. It's always a stooge of the Nigerian Football Federation. What noise, what impact, what message has he sent to the NFF on how to develop the coaches that is lording over? So these are the kind of people, when you have wrong faces, when you have wrong people in place, and of course you relax, you go like Nigerian Football Federation, who don't have a plan for them, their things are going to be like this. That's why I said the NFF should wake up, the coaches should wake up. Don't think you are doing a journalist a favor if a journalist calls you to say, please, what are your plans for this game? You think you're doing a journalist a favor? If you cannot say, the journalist will say what he has in his mind. So it's about relationship, it's about development. Self-development is not about how your team play, but it's about your nature as a coach, how your rapport with players, with the coaches, with the public, and everybody. This has been missing, and that's why we support foreign coaches. I don't want us to have gamble. I don't want to see a situation whereby we continue to gamble with Nigerian coaches simply because they are Nigerians. Please.
Wow, trust Raymond to say just the way it is when it comes to conversations of this nature. He would. Some persons would say Raymond is even vibrating while he was giving those analyses. Stick around.
The adventure begins. One tap, multiple choices with BetKing Bet Builder. Every match becomes your playground. Select your predictions like who will get a card, which player will score, how many goals, and so on. Start your odds and build a bet like no other.
Now, the power to win bigger is in your hands with Bet Builder. Register and get 100 Naira instant bonus with JJC welcome offer.
That feeling, that's BetKing.
This girl and many more children like her will never forget today. They felt grit. They felt determination. They felt the power of sport. Throughout this year, 7.5 million children across Nigeria will feel the same power through Milo. But we won't stop there. Next year, we will reach even more schools, more communities, and inspire more champions.
Yes, the 2025 Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations is up and running in Egypt, and Nigeria happens to be in a very, very interesting group. The Flying Eagles will be up against Kenya, Morocco, as well as Tunisia in Group B. So our very first game would be on Thursday in Cairo, precisely against Tunisia. One fixture Nigerians are truly looking forward to. We've seen pictures of the players in camp scattered all over social media that they are truly preparing for their very first game. Raymond?
Yeah, good confidence, and it's good for the game, and better still when you consider the fact that they even beat Egypt in that friendly game.
Friendly, yes.
It's very important. Psychologically, it will boost the Nigerian team ahead of
that game ended by 2-1.
Yeah. And Coach Aliyu Zubairu, I like his confidence level. When he was appointed, not many people really gave him a chance, and we saw how he did at the Wafu B tournament in Abidjan. They won the tournament against all odds, and the same confidence he exceeded throughout the campaign in Nigeria, Katsina, down to Abuja, back to Abuja, and all. Here we are against Tunisia. First game. We should be able to win that game. It's also very important. You win your first game so that there will be less pressure. So I must wish the Flying Eagles well as they look for their 8th title as far as this competition is concerned.
Joy, we must also note that this is also a qualifier for the Under-20 World Cup. I think the ultimate goal should be that we must make it to the World Cup. And the next generation of Super Eagles players should be seen from this team. This should be the focus.
Exactly. Looking at the way the boys have been preparing so far, I love the confidence oozing out from the camp, and I'm really looking forward to a very exciting tournament for them. And of course, the target should be the World Cup. Yes, this is the hurdle they must cross before they can grab themselves a ticket to participate at the World Cup. So I'm just positive that they can actually do it. They know the nation is really counting on them, because I think this is the only World Cup that we can say, okay, it's still within our reach,
yes,
to grab. So I'm rooting for them to, get the ticket.
Tony, the manager has said this is one team he picked. There were no influence, but you could always tell that managers at this level would always be under pressure. Everybody wants their players to truly make the team, because most elites, as far as football management is concerned in Nigeria, are mostly agents.
Yes, absolutely, Matthew, and that's the worry of stakeholders. If you remember when he came on board, there was so much pressure on him, and then we have just seen, even when he released his final list, there's been a cocktail of invitations from abroad. So many questions are being asked, if these players, could not just be gotten from Nigerian leagues. And then it's a very big question. And when you talk about pressure, such pressures always come from abroad, because when you sprinkle a lot of players from abroad, then there's that pressure, because everybody wants to play for the Super Eagles, and then their agents, and of course, are the ones that will come to tempt you with all manner of things. And indeed, this is just where everybody's afraid. Matthew, they're playing Tunisia. We have seen them, winning 2-1
against Egypt.
Yeah. And then, that's, confidence building, but then I think that they should be very careful. Let them not just, go overboard thinking that they have landed, they have beaten Egypt, and then they think that Tunisia, being a North African, can as well be the same as Egypt. Egypt is Egypt. Tunisia is Tunisia.
Absolutely. We say all the best to our coach as well as the players. The Flying Eagles, to be precise, the Under-20 AFCON, all going as we speak in Egypt, and we say all the best to our team. Come Thursday, the 1st of May, Nigeria will lock us against Tunisia, and we hope that the guys will give us plenty to savor. At this time, we join the ever-delectable Ningia Dimola as she brings us up to speed with happenings in the MPFL. We sign out at the other side.
With Glovo, you've got the city at your fingertips. Craving fried chicken or smoky jollof? Order on Glovo. Running low on toiletries? Glovo's got you. Track the rider as your order makes its way to you. Download Glovo. Order anything you want and receive it in minutes.
There's a champion in this child, in this one, just as much in this one. They all deserve to experience how values like grit, determination, and teamwork learned through sport will help them succeed in life. And Milo is committed to making this happen. Because every child deserves to experience the transformational power of sport.
Hello and welcome to the final edition of Sportsville MPFL Moment for the month of April. I am Nengi Ernest Ademola, and as always, I've got the latest scoop from the Nigerian Premier Football League just for you. Let's kick things off with a major update. El Kanemi Warriors have been slapped with a 3.5 million naira fine and will now play all remaining home games this season behind closed doors. This comes after serious fan misconduct and security breaches during last weekend's clash with Ikorodu City. Meanwhile, the NFF Refereeing Development Unit isn't holding back either. They've issued a strong statement urging referees to uphold fairness, equity, and integrity in officiating. And listen to this, any official found guilty of misconduct will face a minimum 10-year ban from all football activities. Now, back to the action on the pitch. The NPFL is in its final stretch with just 3 games to go and the tension is sky high. Here is a quick look at the matchday 35 fixtures happening today. Nasarawa United welcome Heartland FC to the Lafia Township Stadium. Plateau United host Bendel Insurance, currently 5th on the table. Kwara United take on relegated Lobby Stars. Rangers International go head-to-head with rivals Enyimba FC in another thrilling Oriental derby. In Ijebu-Ode, it's Sunshine Stars vs Katsina United. Abia Warriors battle 3SC Shooting Stars. Bayelsa United face El Kanemi Warriors. Ikorodu City, 3rd on the log, clash with 18th placed Aqua United. And Rama Stars look to extend their dominance against Niger Tornadoes, who trail by 21 points. Now, let's check out the Golden Boot race after match day 34. Anas Yusuf of Nasarawa United leads with 15 goals. Tied on 11 goals each are Rabiu Ali of Kano Pillars, Anthony Ijoma of Abia Warriors, and Shola Adelani of Ikorodu City. Sunday Mego of Abia Warriors follows closely with 10 goals. Ayomide Cole of Ikorodu City has 9 goals, while Kayode Oke, Isaac Xavier, Osi Martins, and Rabiu Abdullahi all sit on 8 goals apiece. And that's how we wrap up Sportsville MPFL Moment for April. The race is tight, the action is fierce, and the drama, well, it's classic NPFL. Thank you for joining me. I am Nengi Ernest Ademola, and I will see you next time.
Hi. You don't know when you have bacteria breath, and bacteria may be the cause of it. Don't let bacteria breath get all the attention. Use Close-Up with antibacterial zinc. Close-Up helps get rid of bacteria breath.
Yes, so much to truly look forward to as far as Nigerian football is concerned. Wasena Abais on the show for today. Joy, Wasena Abais.
Yes, it's always a pleasure to be in the studio with you people. I love every moment on the show. And of course, looking forward to an amazing football from our boys and wishing them the best of the luck.
Interesting. And Raymond?
Yeah, definitely. When the NFL do things well, we always praise them here.
Yeah.
It's good that they've come with plans to sanction any referee that airs for 10 years. That is how it should be. We hope things will be improved upon. Better, coaching for our referees. I mean, for our coaches too. Take them into cognizance. Let it be part of your programs. And we always hear you here. And congratulations, Flamingos, for qualifying for the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup. Good results in both Ikene and, of course, Blinda in Nigeria. That's how it should be. We hope the Super Eagles will join the queue. We just hope.
Interesting. We hope. And remember, the conversation continues across all our social media platforms on your screen at this time. I'm Matthew Kube. We'll return next week with another banger of the show. Bye for now.
Emmanuel Amunike has scored for Nigeria. Goal that wins the first ever footballing gold medal for Nigeria.
To Kunyonja, impressive run. so as to place Edo State in the continental map.